Hello everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to Cinefessions, where we talk all things media. So last weekend, there is a local carnival that went down by my house, and it happens every single year. It's run by a local church, and there is one table in particular that is always in this big tent area that they have set up. And every year they're there, and it's like the one thing that I look the most forward to about this carnival, literally every year. Last year I posted a haul from this carnival as well, because like it's absurd the amount of books I get for almost free. Like, it's insane. So everything you're looking at today, which there are tons of books and even some movies and some TV series, which they didn't have last year. So I was really excited to see a box of that this year. But I paid 18 cents a pop for all this, which is, it might as well have been free. That's crazy. So frankly, I don't know how much of this I'll actually hold on to, what I'll end up donating, what I'll end up selling, but I figured, you know what, for the price, I might as well. So basically what they do at this carnival is they give you these big plastic bags, and there are tables, probably 4 tables, I guess it is, just stacked with books, all, mass market paperbacks, all the way up to hardcover. There's usually a table that's filled with kids' books as well. So just all these tables filled with books, like stacked with books. And so you just go through, and every bag you fill, every plastic bag, you can fill it as best you can, is only $3 a bag, which is crazy. So there was no sign saying otherwise, and so I put some movies in the bags as well, which I, would confirm that yes, they are part of it. Everything is the same price there. So I was able to fill a few bags if I include books that my daughter got, but I'm not counting those. I'm just counting the things that I ended up picking up here. 2 plastic bags filled with items, and these are not like Kroger bags or, Walmart bags. These are these big, hefty bags that I'm just so happy they supply for us every single year. But yeah, it's amazing. The low price I paid for these things. So of course I stocked up, and now I want to share with you guys everything I grabbed. So I don't have a ton of movies and TV series, so I think I'll start with that this time, and then we'll jump over to the books. But before we do that, if you guys have a second, please hit that like button down below. That engagement really does help me out. But let's not waste any more time at all. Let's dive right in to my local carnival book and movie haul. So I'll start off by saying that these movies and TV series are completely random. Honestly, if not for this, I probably never would have even thought to buy these, but here we are. The first one here is with James Stewart and June Allison. This is the Glenn Miller story, who I have to assume Glenn Miller is a trombone player. Like, I have no idea. I probably sound so ignorant right now, but I have no idea who that is. And so, yeah, I'm very intrigued to see what this is. Actually, the wonderful score swings with the original Miller music performed by the Glenn Miller Orchestra. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a musical related film. I don't know if it is actually a musical or not, but this one is actually directed by Anthony Mann, so that's interesting. And this is from, I think most of these are from the 30s, if I'm not mistaken. But of course, I'm not seeing a year of release on this. I only see 2003 is when the DVD was released. So don't know the exact year, but yeah, I was excited to find these older films. The first one is The Glenn Miller Story. Let's just keep going since there's not too many of these movies. The next one here is Judy Garland in From Me and My Gal with George Murphy and Gene Kelly as well. This has to be a musical. Another one I've just never heard of before, but it's directed by Busby Berkeley. What a fantastic name that is. And another one I have to imagine is from the 30s, or no, 1942 is this one. But yeah, this looks like a musical as well. And another one, it's in the first of the ones that are in a snapper case. So that's always cool. And these are like in mint condition. I swear they were never even used. So what is this one? For Me and My Gal. And then we have High Society, Bing Crosby, which is the reason I grabbed this one. Grace Kelly, Frank Sinatra, so the Rat Pack in here. And it says, the rich are generally different, but in matters of the heart, they're just as scatterbrained as the rest of us. So it says, the Philadelphia story has jazz, and Bing, Grace, Satchmo, and The Voice. So yeah, we'll see how this one is. Let's see, this one is 1956, it looks like. So this one's a little bit later than I first anticipated. But yeah, that looks like a lot of fun. Let me open this snapper up here. Some screenshots from the movie itself. So yeah, that looks really cool. The Philadelphia, no, not the Philadelphia. This is High Society, excuse me. And then the last of the movies I got, Gene Kelly, Frank Sinatra, Ann Miller, Betty Garrett. This is On the Town. So this is a musical because it says the freshest, most invigorating and innovative screen musical of its decade, which is 1949. So another one from the 40s. So I was wrong on the 30s. Maybe these are all from the 40s. But yeah, this one is directed by Gene Kelly and Stanley Donen. So Donen? I guess I'm not sure how to say that. But yeah, so another one I hadn't heard of before, but it looks like a lot of fun. This, obviously, like, this is not my era of film. I don't typically watch a ton from this era, especially musicals. Like, don't get me wrong, I was a theater kid growing up. I like musicals. I just don't spend a ton of time watching them anymore for whatever reason. So yeah, Gene Kelly, Frank Sinatra. I mean, that's a great cast. You can't go wrong here. So excited to check out On the Town. And that is the last of the movies, but I do have some TV series I want to go over. So this is another one, like, if not for these prices, I wouldn't even have grabbed this, but they were there, so why not? This is Walker, Texas Ranger, Season 1 and Season 2. And this was a show that, like, my mom was obsessed with when I was younger, and so I have seen quite a number of episodes of this. It was honestly never a favorite of mine, but I didn't dislike it, and so I figured I would grab these. Honestly, I'll probably just end up giving these to my mom because she really likes this show. She loves Chuck Norris, so yeah, I don't know. Like, it is what it is. Obviously, this is just a police procedural of sorts, but it's done in the Texas Walker style, or yeah, Texas Ranger style. That's the term I'm trying to think of. So yeah, these are, I mean, fun finds. I've never really seen these in the wild before, so I figured, yeah, let's grab them. Why not? Again, they'll probably end up at my mom's house, but Walker, Texas Ranger, the complete first season and the complete second season. And then there's one more TV related thing. I think this is more of a mini series as opposed to like a season of a show. I don't know much about this, but it was big, so it caught my attention. This is C.S. Forrester's Horatio Hornblower Collector's Edition. Apparently this aired on A&E. So you can see, like, this is quite lengthy. It's like over 13 hours. Yeah, 13 hours and 20 minutes. And yeah, I don't even know. From midshipman to commander, experience the thrilling escapades of the ultimate high seas hero with the Horatio Hornblower Collector's Edition, an 8-volume treasure chest of sweeping naval adventure and lavish historical drama. So yeah, why not? We'll give it a shot. I didn't know if maybe some of these were like worth anything at all if I were to try to sell it on eBay. Turns out no is the answer to that question, but that's totally fine. I have no idea if I'll watch this. I might just end up trading it into disc replay, but hey, it was a cool find nonetheless. So Horatio Hornblower, the Collector's Edition, is the last of the movie and TV series I found. So now let's jump over to the big old giant stack of books I have sitting next to me. So I found one young adult book, and it's a horror book, so it looks pretty interesting. I've actually heard of this before, but I've never read it. It's written by Madeline Rowe, I'm guessing is how you say that. This is Asylum, and I believe this is the first in a series of books. Yeah, you can see on the back here, there's Sanctum as well. So I don't know how many books are in this series, but it's one I'd seen before, so I figured I would pick it up. And this one actually is weird because it has pictures of, like, real asylums in here that are supposed to be haunted. So, like, I guess that's a real asylum. Like, there's just random... There's a whole bunch of pictures in this, actually. Well, that's just a chapter heading. But, yeah, so it sounds interesting. Basically, our main character is 16 years old. Young adult, obviously. And so he is heading to the New Hampshire College Prep Program, except the dorms are shut down, so they have to move into this other building, which was a former asylum that is supposed to be haunted. So I'm assuming it's going to be a haunted house story from there. So, yeah, interested to check this one out eventually. Asylum by Madeline Rowe. And that's the only young adult book that I was able to find. I did find a couple of cozy mystery books from a series that I do collect because I found them super cheap at the thrift store a while back. I actually grabbed, like, I don't even know, 4 or 5 that were there because I didn't know what was already in my collection and what wasn't, so I'll just donate the ones that I already have. But the one of them I didn't have was by Lillian Jackson Braun. This is The Cat Who Blew the Whistle. So this is the Cat Who series, and it is a cozy mystery series. Our main character has, I think, multiple cats, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, it's just a cozy mystery series from there. I've not read any of this series yet, but I do have quite a handful in my collection, which is so silly. I have no idea if I'm going to like it. But honestly, for the entire, I probably have around 20 books. For the entire thing, I've probably spent $15, like maybe $20, if that, like very little to have that many books from this series in my collection. So The Cat Who Blew the Whistle was one of them, and then the other one was The Cat Who Said Cheese. So I don't know what numbers these are in this series, but they were two that I didn't already have. So, and the other cool thing is that they are in this style of book cover, because some of these were re-released, and that's actually, I didn't bring it down here, but there was another one that I'd already owned, but it was in this style of cover versus the new re-release style, and so I swapped it out, and then I'm donating the newer release looking one, because it's just, I like this style better. It kind of goes with everything else I have. So yeah, The Cat Who Blew the Wind and The Cat Who Said Cheese, two more books by Lillian Jackson Braun for my Cat Who collection. Let's talk about the middle grade books I found, because I have quite a handful here of those. And the first two, honestly, they look like Indiana Jones ripoffs. This is Will Wilder, The Relic of Perilous Falls, and this is written by Raymond Arroyo, and this is book 1 of the series. And then I also found book 2, which is Will Wilder, The Lost Staff of Wonders. So, I mean, like, just take a look at them. They feel very Indiana Jones, but maybe even more fantastical than Indiana Jones. And obviously, these are aimed at a middle grade audience. You can see the length on them. They are newer middle grade, so of course they're longer. Man, what happened to the good old days of Goosebumps when they were like 116 pages, in and out, and then move on with your day? No, these bad boys are super long, which is most middle grade nowadays. But yeah, that was, I always say this, but I blame Harry Potter for that, because they started getting super long as they got longer. But yeah, so we'll see how these are. I have no idea if this series is any good. Honestly, I'd never even heard of it, but they look like fun, and I love middle grade. You guys know that. I talk about it all the time. So I figured I would grab the first two books of the Will Wilder series. And again, whenever I pick up middle grade, I always think down the line, is this something that my daughter will enjoy? She very well could, because she typically likes like fantastical things. So hopefully I'll get to read that to her. So Will Wilder, book 1, The Relic of Perilous Falls, and book 2, The Lost Staff of Wonders, both written by Raymond Arroyo. And those are two from the middle grade books I grabbed, but let's keep going, because I did find a Nancy Drew book, which typically I don't grab these, but this one looked pretty interesting. This is book number 78 by Carolyn Keene, The Phantom of Venice, and that cover is just fantastic. So that's the reason I wanted to grab this one. Shout out to Bob Silverman, the cover design, and then the cover illustrator Hector Garrido. So I love that they have both of their names right on the back there. So I'm interested to see what year this is. And I don't see, 1985. So very good. I don't know if that's like the original publication date on this or what, but yeah, so most of these books, why they're so cheap is because most of them are just ex-library books from the local church that's putting on this festival. So, you know, they don't care what they get for me. And then of course, like, you can donate more, which actually I did donate a little bit on top of what my total was, because it's going to theoretically, I guess, it's going to a good cause, which, let's not get into that, but yeah, anyway, Nancy Drew, The Phantom of Venice, written by Carolyn Keene. And then I love finding these for super cheap. This is written by Jonathan Rand, a Michigan Chillers book. This is number 10, Mackinac City Mummies. So I have a bunch of these from Jonathan Rand. Obviously, he is a local author. He went on to do the American Chillers series as well, amongst some other things, I believe. But he started, I believe, with Michigan Chillers. And it's Goosebumps, but they're set in a specific location. So yeah, looking forward to checking this one out. I have, like I said, a handful of his, and I really need to start reading these to see if they're any good or not, because I don't know. My buddy, he collects them along with me, and the one or two he read, he didn't love. So I don't know if I'm going to like them or not, but we shall see. And then the last four from middle grade are all, like, I don't know, pretty darn cool. They're not in the best shape because they are ex-library, but I actually saw these the same style of book at Second and Charles a few weeks ago. I had them in my hand, but I ended up putting them back, and I'm glad I did, because now I have 4 in my collection for really cheap. This first one here is X-Men, and it's X-Men in the Savage Land. And then we have X-Men Days of Future Past, a very well-known X-Men story. X-Men The Brood, and then finally X-Men Dirty and Honor. So I'm thinking that these are just middle grade adaptations of the comic story. Obviously, Days of Future Past is a very famous comic story, but I don't know about these others? Like, are they well-known comic, story arcs as well? Frankly, I don't know. But most of these, they have different authors. Mantell and Hart wrote some of these, and I saw another author on here. Francine Hughes wrote the other ones, and then Claremont is credited to some as well, obviously for the original comic story. So, yeah, these are pretty cool. These are super short. Let's see, this is 104 pages, and I believe these are from the mid-90s, much like the Goosebump books. Let me see if I can find a date real quick. 1994, so yeah, mid-90s. Gotta love mid-90s middle grade, because then you're getting those shorter books, which you can get in and get out of. So, yeah, pretty cool. Like, I've never read any of these before. They are ex-library, not the best shape, but something I will likely read at some point. So, 4 books from the X-Men middle grade series, and that is all of the middle grade. So, let's jump over to some of the adult books I found. I'll start with this first one here, which is actually media tie-in. It is a novelization of the film 1941, which of course is the Spielberg film, and it has a story by Robert Zemeckis and John Milius, and of course Bob Gale, who also authored this novelization. So I've never seen this one before, but it looks like it's a comedy war film, which sounds interesting to me. So I don't know. We'll see if this is any good or not when I get around to it. 1941. Let me know if you guys love that movie. It's Spielberg, so I imagine most people have probably seen it, but I don't know. And this one I just simply grabbed because the cover is fantastic. This is The Night Whistlers, written by Dan Trevor. And you can see here it's a first in the action-packed series. The Second American Revolution is about to begin. Like, there's so many pull quotes on here. Razor sharp action, Road Warrior meets Blade Runner. I mean, yes, please. That sounds amazing. So, really excited about this one. Has just an amazingly awful cover. I don't know, so many great pull quotes or just like taglines on it that make me want to read it. From 1991, because of course it is. That's just fantastic. The Night Whistlers by Dan Trevor. Probably the book I'm most excited for of this entire haul. And then we have by Michael Shera. This is The Killer Angels. So this is one, like, do I really see myself reading this? I don't know. But when I was in grad school, I had a buddy who really loved this book and always talked about it. So because of that, I knew of it. So I figured, hey, why not? Maybe it's something I will get around to at some point in my life. This is the classic novel of the Civil War, it says. So yeah, like I said, he was an older gentleman who really liked this. He's from Texas. Like, he was just big into this stuff, so he really liked this. I don't know if it's something I will actually get around to or not, but we shall see. Something I do want to read, though, is a Jennifer McMahon story that is supposed to be actually pretty creepy. This is The Winter People. And on the back here it says, some secrets never die. So I believe this is a haunted, or like a haunting story of some sort. I don't really know for sure, but I've heard great things about this over the years. It's talked about on BookTube quite a bit, years past. And if I'm not mistaken, or it wasn't this one, my work book club did a Jennifer McMahon story as well, and people were talking about how they really liked The Winter People. So we'll see if this one is any good. I definitely, there's something in here. Oh my goodness. There is an in memory of. That's kind of creepy. Okay, so The Winter People by Jennifer McMahon. It's like an obituary, like if you go to a funeral. I'm not going to show the name or anything just because I don't know who it is, but yeah, creepy. Anyway, and then I found a couple of Frederick Bachman books who I've never read before, but I was recently watching some Murphy Napier, who is a huge booktuber here on YouTube, and she often cites Frederick Bachman as one of her favorite authors. And so I picked up A Man Called Ove, and I don't really know. This is just going to be like contemporary fiction as far as I know. And yeah, we'll see if this one is any good or not. So A Man Called Ove. And then I also found in hardcover, Anxious People. So if you guys know anything about Frederick Bachman, like, do you recommend one over the other? What's a better one to start with? Is there something better by Bachman that I should start with before one of these two? Let me know. I am coming into this completely blind other than knowing the author's name. So hopefully I will enjoy these. It's supposed to be very... there's supposed to be a lot of comedy, but it's supposed to be very, sentimental, very heartfelt. So I hope to read one of those one day and see how it is. And then the last but not least here, this is actually nonfiction where everything else was fiction, but I'm just going to wrap it up here. This one is actually pretty cool. This is Warner Brothers Presents. So you can see here the most exciting years from the jazz singer to white heat, written by Ted Sennett. So this is a big hardcover book. This thing is thick and dusty, but... this is talking about Warner Brothers, the film studio, and this is going to cover some great years of the studio, kind of like their classic age. I'm trying to get to this is from 1971. So yeah, I thought this was a pretty cool find. It's like just a big giant hardcover book about a classic Hollywood film studio. So it felt like it would fit in my collection perfectly. So Warner Brothers Presents, written by Ted Sennett. And that is going to wrap up everything that I found at my local carnival. All right, so I'm not going to hold anything up today. There's just too much and they're too heavy. So, but I want to hear from you guys down in the comments below. Do you have any cool carnival things or festival things like this by you guys where you can pick up some media? Let me know down below, and let me know what you guys have read or watched from this stack. Is Horatio Hornblower, is this worth 13 hours of my life? Let me know if you've seen this down below. I would be shocked if anybody has, but hey, you never know. You get all types of people. So let me know if you've seen that or read any of these books down there, and what's worth my time, what's not. I'd love to hear any and all of your opinions on this and anything else that you have to say down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for all of your support down there. It really does mean a lot to me. But as always, guys, if you did enjoy this one, please give it a like down below. That engagement really does help me out. So thank you so much for hitting that like button. And like I always say, I don't just talk movies or books. I talk all things media, be it books, movies, video games, graphic novels, manga. If it's media related, I'm interested in it. And if you are too, you might consider subscribing. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for today. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching, and I want to encourage you to consume some media today. I'll catch you next time.